Hello everyone, I'm Tommy with Studio Sense. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about generally pleasant house with which to purchase your fragrance from. Now, one of the very first fragrance reviews that I did on this channel was Nuparfums Black is Black, and it's this guy right here. It's a very unusually, it's almost like shaped like a bridge. And it's reminiscent of the Tommy Bahama bottle, St. Kitts, St. Bart's, but it is a pleasant fragrance. It doesn't have a ton of projection, a ton of longevity, but then again, you're not paying a ton for it. This was literally $9.99, $10 at TJ Maxx, and generally speaking, that's what you're gonna find. I've got Black is Black, very pleasant, very light, very spring, summery fragrance. I've got Black is Black Modern Oud for men. This airs on the side of unisex, probably a little more feminine, a little more floral. And it doesn't have a ton of oud in it. The oud is very, it's not animalic, it's minimalic. So very, very minimal oud in this, but it is pleasant enough. If you've never tried modern oud, it's a very, very nice, very pleasant smelling fragrance. And it actually does have really good longevity and decent projection. Surprisingly, for the price, I got this also for $9.99. And you can get that also at any retailer online or primarily the clearance section of most TJ Maxx, Dillard's, Marshalls, places like that. Today, I ran across another one from Nuparfums Black is Black, and that is, After Dark. Sounds like Skinamax, the After Dark section. So this is going to be like the adult film version of Nuparfums Black is Black. No, not really, just kidding. The name implies that it's going to be like a date night fragrance. So the expectation of this is going to be a little bit darker, more along the side of something like Calvin Klein's Euphoria Intense for Men, or Zara Wanted by Night, or Kenneth Cole Signature. Something with a little bit more deeper woods, a darker vibe. It's also going to be masculine, charismatic, seductive, and alluring. All those adjectives that we use to describe a bedroom fragrance. I'm hoping that's what is going to be in it. Black is Black Pour Homme for men after dark. It does give the note breakdown. I'm going to go ahead and take the cellophane off, but I'm going to cut that out. I will ask your forgiveness times past that I've included taking the cellophane off, and it peaks the audio, and you probably are turning YouTube down when I do that. So I'm going to take this off, come back. We're going to look at the presentation briefly, and because this is a first impressions video, we're going to spray this on my arms and see what we think of Nuparfums Black is Black After Dark. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. I've got After Dark. Here is the box. It looks like almost like a blue-black marble. It's very shiny. You can probably see that as I kind of catch the light in it. And then you've got kind of a matte and then a silver. So that's pretty neat. You've got the Nuparfums logo there. You've got information on the back, which I will read a little bit more to you in detail. And then on the very bottom, UPC batch information on the very bottom, product information. So yeah, before I open this up, interestingly enough, it does give a note breakdown, and I do enjoy that about the boxes. Nuparfum Black is Black and Modern Oud was the same. So the top notes include bergamot and ginger, with heart notes of sage, geranium, and violet, and base notes of balsam fir and cedar. So it's got a decently impressive note breakdown. So let's give it a shot and see what it smells like, because that is the true testament. Now I do like that bottle. It is a matte black. That's pretty cool. I'll show you that. It does have Black is Black across the, as you can see, Black is Black on the lid. That's pretty cool. On the very bottom, you've got your product information stamp there. And on the very front, you've got, that's really cool actually. This is like a material that's soft, almost like pleather. It literally feels like pleather. It's like a soft material. And then After Dark is embossed in silver. I don't know if you can see that up close a little bit more. So I'm actually decently impressed with the presentation. I don't look for much in terms of presentation with Nuparfums, because you're getting a really, really inexpensive product, quite literally $9.99 from TJ Maxx. I don't have really high expectations for this, but let's give it a shot. Now the cap is always really good and tight on these. Everything, you know, is well made in terms of that, in terms of presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and spray my forearm here. We'll give it the typical 2 pump prime. 1, 2. Oh, okay. That one went on 2. Get a little bit close. And then we're gonna go 1, 2. Okay, so right up front, I'm getting a really nice citrusy blast of bergamot. Oh wow, that smells really good. See, I did have the expectation that this was going to smell good, decent in the top. I really do like the opening. It's very citrusy, it's almost bubblegummy. But what's going to be interesting is what happens with the dry down, the mid to the base. Now, a lot of these bypass the hard accord, and it's just, you've got an opening and then you've got a dry down, and that's basically what this is going to slant towards. Wow, this smells so similar to another really good spring and summertime fragrance that I'm actually quite impressed, and I'm quite pleased with my purchase just based on the opening alone. Even if the mid and the dry down turn out to be a little bit less than stellar, I really like the opening on this. It's got a very youthful, very bright, and that is one thing I do like about sage and ginger. Like in Eros and in other fragrances, it makes almost kind of an effervescent pop off the skin. And that's what this does. Okay, so that sensation is not going away. Okay, you're gonna have to excuse me for just a minute. I'll go ahead and probably edit this part out, but I'm gonna go grab a bottle of exactly what this smells like. And I don't know if they were doing it intentionally. Nuparfums is not necessarily a clone house. They do make their own versions of things, but it's very, very clear to me that they were going towards a particular smell. Black is Black After Dark smells exactly like Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Maybe not quite as bright, but it does have that sweet, yeah, that really sweet bergamot, citrusy, sage and ginger mix that's going for it, that causes it just to be sort of effervescent in the nose and pop right off the skin. I'm gonna give this a shot really quickly on the top of my hand. I'm gonna smell the dry down of this and smell the top of this, kind of compare the two. So I feel like the dry down of Legend Spirit is going to be extremely similar to After Dark because they're smelling exactly the same. Now the top in Mont Blanc Legend Spirit is a little brighter. It is a little more sweet, a little more bubblegummy than it is in Black is Black After Dark. But after dry down, they're going to be probably identical, I would say. Almost identical or near identical. That dries really fast. It is almost the same. So, okay. That makes it easy. That makes it very easy for me. So we're not going to talk too much about the notes. Now the dry down in this, the projection in it is really good. I don't have to stick my nose to my skin, so this is definitely not going to be a skin scent. Judging from my first impressions and judging how quickly the dry down is reaching its kind of critical mass, I would say you're probably going to get about 4 to 5 hours out of this. And that's not bad for a $10 fragrance. That's actually pretty good. I would say that you're going to get about that long. And it's got a nice, really nice, pleasant, sweet, citrusy burst to that opening, which is going to create a good projection or good sillage trail with this fragrance. So honestly, I'm extremely happy with this purchase because I wasn't expecting it to be much of anything. Now, After Dark is perhaps a misleading name. I could see wearing this to the club, and definitely appropriate, but there's nothing really alluring or seductive about this. This is more of the youthful, vigorous, and spirited. This is more appropriate and aptly named fragrance than is Black is Black After Dark. This should be Black is Black Spirited, something like that, because it is very youthful, it's very spirited, but it's not seductive or alluring. Not by any means a bedroom fragrance at all, so don't look for that. That's just in the name itself, not in the product itself. Alright guys, well that's it for my first impressions of Black is Black After Dark Nuparfums fragrance that we'll call very, very similar to Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, which is a good thing because Legend Spirit is one of my favorite spring and summer fragrances, and with the warmer weather coming up shortly, maybe this is something that you can put on your shopping list. If you do run across it, I highly recommend grabbing it up. It is going to be a very pleasant fragrance if you like Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your support. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you next time.